How's everybody doing? Fun day. Got some beautiful weather for the game tomorrow, so we're excited. We've had a great week of practice. I'm really pleased with the focus our guys have had and the attention to detail. I think obviously being here before has certainly helped a lot of their older guys. They have a little bit of a routine and understand all the different things that are going on, understand the activities. And the key, I always think, to a bowl game is being able to separate, when it's time to have fun, when it's time to be completely focused in on the game. And I really think, look at the practices we've had this week, our guys have done a great job of that, of having complete focus when we're out there on the field for the game and preparations, and then still be able to kind of shut it down and turn it off and have a great time with all the great bowl events that everybody puts on here for us. So it's been a really fun week and an exciting week for all of us.
Question away. Coach, Dan, do you worry about motivation at all the way the season ended, or do you think that provides a lesson?
To be honest, it was so long ago for us. And you look at the season as a whole, I think our guys are pretty motivated to finish it off the right way. We've had a lot of big wins this year, had some tough losses this year, and I think our guys want to go finish off the season the right way and send the seniors out, winning a bowl championship.
Both classes, your senior class and Northwestern senior class, are two of the most successful classes in each school. Does that add any weight to this game? Do you think that it changes mentality?
Yeah, I just think it just shows the leadership that these guys have had at both schools, and I think both of them, and we look at all the success they've had over the last 4 years at both schools. They want to finish it off the right way. Not just the seniors, but I think everybody else wants to see their seniors go out as winners, in their final game and leave, that final stamp on the program. Because I think, when you look at our senior class and certainly their senior class, when you look at all the success they've had, they've certainly changed, I think, the culture of the football programs at both universities, and had so much impact on doing that you'd love to send them out the right way.
What have you noticed about Northwestern's receivers as far as just being really good and sound run blockers and how they've kind of changed into their offense?
Great blockers. They're obviously, when you look at the run game, receivers turn an 8-yard run into a 60-yard run, and their guys do a great job of that. But they also have a lot of speed out there in the perimeter. Number 6 got tremendous speed to run away from people and to get behind DBs, and so when they do, with their ability to run, with their ability to create the big plays in the run, can really get you, focusing on that, and then they get their one-on-one opportunities in space.
Yeah, Jeff Kelly, Associated Press. How tough is it to prepare for two different styles of quarterback that Northwestern has?
Well, they don't wholesale change their offense when the other quarterback comes in. I think it's more of an emphasis of what they do. So, when he, it goes to a little bit more of a pass emphasis over a run offense when the other quarterback comes in the game. So, when you look at it that way, it's not, they don't change their formations, they don't run a whole new set of plays, they just change their emphasis. So, you just have to be aware of who's in the game and how that emphasis is going to change.
Coach, you guys have struggled a little bit with the spread offense. Just talk to me just about some adjustments you guys are making prepared for Northwestern.
Well, one is obviously is getting used to, I think, having the extra time, getting used to the speed of how fast it's going to go and the tempo. To me, as much as anything else of doing it. When you look at spread offenses, when we've handled the tempo, we've had a lot of success. When you start giving up the first and second first down and they start going really fast, that's when everybody struggles. And so that one of the keys is not letting them get the drives going, not letting them get that second first down where they can get it really shifted into high gear, and playing sound right from the beginning. You got to get some 3 and outs and get off the field, and that slows their whole tempo down.
Coach, when you see Everett Mark on film, they're number 5, what does he look like? And he tells us he only weighs like 180 pounds.
Yeah, but you watch him. He has the ability to be a physical runner. Obviously he's pretty special out in the open field, and not just on offense, running the football, but coming out of the backfield, catching the football, and the kicking game. When he gets in the open field, he's very dangerous. But I think our guys are used to that. You look at our tailback with Ladarius Perkins is not a huge stature guy, but plays pretty physical inside, and Mark kind of does the same thing for them. He can do it all. He's a complete back, even though he might not be that your big 215-pound bruising back.
Dan, Fitz earlier was talking about the bowl experience and what it means in the future, the playoff system and whatnot. I mean, your experiences with the bowl system, what memories do you have of it, and what are your thoughts going forward as, so there's some uncertainty as to how it will be structured?
Well, I'm a big proponent of the bowl system. I think bowls are a fantastic reward. I mean, you got to remember that these guys playing the game are student athletes, and it seems everybody always wants to be, selective of when they're student athletes and when they're, I guess, they flip it the other way to be athlete students. And bowl experience means a tremendous experience for the student athlete. We have a lot of young guys that get to come experience a new city. We've been fortunate; some of our guys have been here before, but I think over half our team has never been. They weren't on the roster 2 years ago. First opportunity for some of them to come to Florida, to get to see a new city, to get to be exposed to something different. For your senior class to be rewarded after a great career, to get to come and play on New Year's Day in a great bowl game. All of those things are very, very special for the student athlete, and a great reward for them is set up within that system, and that's why I'm a big fan of the of the bowl system and how it's always been, just for the experience for these young guys.
A lot goes into receiver development, and Tyler's also had a lot to do with that this year. But how much do you think Tim Brewster has helped guys like Bumpus and Arcedo and here the last stage of their career?
I think he's done a great job. I think he's a great. He's just as an experienced coach has really helped them just kind of focus and get them all going in the right direction. And I think the fact that they're all seniors this year. I think that's one of the things you see with guys is, that light comes on that this is the end. I think when even when you're a junior and boy, I only have 1 year of football left after this season. The reality doesn't hit you yet that this is it. And I think those guys come into their senior year, and I think you see that a lot with a lot of our seniors. And receiver, I think it stands out more than any other position because that's our most senior deep position. Those guys come in and realize this is it, and I think their sense of urgency in everything they do increases at that time.
And does Tim Brewster give you a unique perspective or advantage, or possibly because he's coached against some of these upper Northwestern recruiters, some of them?
Partially, but not huge. It was a couple years ago, and like I said, you look at our team that came here a couple years ago. We did, I think, around 115 guys, and 20 of them participated in the game. We had a show of hands the other day, 2 years ago. That means 95 of them didn't participate in the game. So, in just that short time frame, you're in college, your roster just changes completely, even though, these guys that are up here, they've played in the game before, but it can just, your overall roster changes so drastically from year to year.
What have you seen as far as the difference between the approach this year when you guys have been here since 2 years ago when you guys hadn't been to a bowl game yet?
I just think with our guys, I thought our seniors a couple of years ago did a fabulous job of creating the focus, of separating it, of separating the fun and the practice time. And I think, with such a young team we have this year, like I said, so many of the guys weren't involved 2 years ago. A lot of it is new for them. So I think these guys up here are not just our captains, but all our seniors have done a great job of educating all the young guys on the bowl experience and how to prepare and how to handle yourself for this game. I think as a coaching staff, I think, we just kind of understand more what we have to do and see the things that you've done well and the things you've done poorly in the past and continue to always try to improve and focus on that attention to detail. I think our focus has been better this week than it was 2 years ago. Overall focus while we've been in practice. But I think our coaches and our seniors have understood that and done a great job of keeping that attention of our team when it's time to work, we work.
Coach, you're 16-2 against non-conference opponents. In your opinion, what does that say about the SEC and just how dominant the conference is?
Well, I think the league as a whole, and the guys playing in the league, take a lot of pride in representing the Southeastern Conference on the field. And you know, and it just, I think you look at a lot of teams in our league have had a lot of success out of conference. And you know, it goes to, I think there's great players. You look at recruiting. Most of the SEC teams are ranked, you know, in the top 40 or 50 in the country in recruiting classes. And I'm talking every team in the league's in there. You know, I think you have probably 7 of the top 10. So you have great players in the league. I think there's some excellent coaches in the league. And we play pretty good football, and I think it shows when you start playing out of conference games.
Coach, can you introduce some players?
Yeah.
Some questions.
All right. They're going to stay at their chairs?
Yes, sir.
All right. And we got with us there, we have our 3 captains. John Banks from Maiden, Mississippi is the this year's Jim Thorpe winner and one of our captains, all-time leading interception in school history. Cam Lawrence has led us in tackles, had over 100 tackles last 2 years in the SEC. He's from, where'd you go, Magnolia Heights, up there. Coldwater, a little private school up there in Mississippi. And Tobias Smith from the big city of Seatown, Columbus, Mississippi, right there representing our offensive linemen. These are our 3 captains this year, and I know they'd love to answer all your questions.
Questions from the players? Jonathan, what do you notice about the receivers and what they do with run blocking, and how much of a challenge is that going to be tomorrow, trying to fight through that?
They're very physical, much like Chris Smith, our receiver. One thing Coach emphasized this week, he's been emphasizing all season, we have to get off blocks and make plays, even when we're in man coverage. We got to have that awareness no matter what. We got to be ready to be physical and attack and get off blocks and make plays.
John, Dan said the focus was better here in practice than 2 years ago. Do you sense the same thing?
I'm with him 100%. Because these 2 guys on the right now, and myself, we wouldn't want to let our team come down here and embarrass ourselves. And you know how coach is about coming out here and having fun and not going to work. And this is a business trip. We come here to play football and come here to party and all that. We come here to win a game.
Cam, is there a system that Northwestern has that's more maybe seen this year, or are they unique element using it on top?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of things playing in the conference we have. You know, we've seen everything from pro-style quarterbacks, you know, dual threat guys. But yeah, you know, there's some similar things. They run the triple option real well. A real athletic quarterback, number 2. But you know, it's nothing we haven't seen this year.
Cameron, when you guys get a chance to play other conferences such as the Big Ten and a bowl game, first of all, do you like seeing teams you don't play before? And is there an image of the Big Ten that you have before you started playing football? Did you some way that typified them?
Yeah, you know, playing in the Southeastern Conference, you know, a lot of people, you know, we would see it as you know, one of the elite conferences. But you know, I get excited, you know, getting to play different schools. You know, it's always fun to have a new experience, a new opponent, and kind of a new challenge to something.
Any other questions?
Tobias, I know I'm curious how the offensive line has been looked this week with some of the issues that y'all have had in recent games. I feel like the focus is as good as Dan and John said it has been.
Oh yeah, we really started getting into our own self, started coming off the ball and working more on technique, and I think it's going to show come Saturday.
Okay.
So even he knows today's Friday.
Coach, you've already got one of these in the trophy case, so
We need another one.
good luck and nice bookends for you in your office, okay? So thank you very much. We've really enjoyed, obviously, Mississippi State being here. It's always great to hear the cowbells, and we hope you have a lot of success tomorrow, and we'll see you after the game.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
So I'm looking forward to going ahead and competing and having fun.
This team, John, is used to going out on a high note. I mean, under Dan Mullen, you won your last game every year. Is that something you think affected them?
No, I mean, every year is different. You got to go out and play ball, play hard, be physical, and play fast and make plays. And that's where we're going to win it.
Talk about working under Coach Hughes this week.
It's been great with Coach Hughes. I played with him as a freshman and Coach Mullen. And probably had the best week of practice since I've been at Mississippi State. Coach Mullen, he grind hard, get after coach. Coach Hughes, he's the same way. They both Coach Smith, he was the same way, but it just is a little different with coaching.
How important is communication this week, especially between the safeties and corners, with the way Northwestern to get you one-on-one matchups and then just bust something wide?
Yeah, we got to communicate. That's something we've been working on in practice. Other guys, we should never have a communication problem, but it's football, it happens. But we got to be back there, we got to be sound, and we got to talk and get each other in the right position.
There's a perception that maybe the Big Ten's a little slower, a little smaller, but look at their offense. They got athletes like Coulter and Brendan Mark. I mean, I feel like that, they're going to be as good a quality as you've seen.
Well, they ain't gonna be as good as quality I've seen. They got some good football players on their side of the ball. I got a lot of respect for what they do and for their players.
You ever been to Chicago?
Never. Why would you ask me?
That's where they're from.
Just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity, what's the biggest city you've been to besides playing a football game?
Atlanta, maybe.
No.
You look,
Orlando, maybe. I don't know. One of the two.
I know you're still tied with Walt Harris. I don't know how much you think about that, getting that 17th pick if it happens, and it's, it's just you alone in the record book. Talk to Walt much about it?
I never talked to Walt in my life, but I don't think about it now. I wanted Jim Thorpe trophy, so.
You just talk to Smoot, not
I
Walt.
talked to Smoot, but I never talked to Walt.
You tease him because he never won that trophy?
I never said anything about it. It'll be a big rah-rah contest between me and him, so I'm not going to get into that.
Can you talk to me? Nico Willie, he's the one guy that's not a senior in the defensive backfield right now. He's from our viewing area. Can you talk to me just about how big of a role he's played in the defensive backfield this year?
Nico, he's a beast. He wasn't 100% this year, but he's a really good football player. He's a great athlete, one of the best athletes on the team. And his focus has been the best I've seen since I've been here this week. He's practiced hard. He came out, he's had fun, he flew around, he made a lot of plays this week, and hopefully it'll carry him the field for us.
Anything can happen. We know they want to go. Their seniors want to go out with a bang, and our seniors definitely do. So it's going to be a fight to the fourth quarter for sure.
What's the quality that stands out most about Northwestern? Because I've heard a lot of people say discipline. They don't make mistakes. Is it that? I mean, and then what else kind of stands out?
I would agree with that. Kind of when you think of Big Ten, I think of big up front offensive linemen. And they're big up front, some experienced guys on the offensive line, and then their running back number 5, has good vision, great speed. So when you combine those two, it can be dangerous, but it's nothing we haven't seen and haven't contained.
Is going against Ladarius in practice help you prepare for Vendrick Mark a little bit?
It has. Actually, one of our scout team, redshirt guys, Brandon Holloway, he's been giving us a great look, and as we all know, Holloway's got great speed, so it's been a good practice week for us.
What about like defending Vendrick Mark? Running back, just in the second level, it may come down to the linebackers having to tackle him. Just talk about that.
Absolutely. We take our defensive linemen take a lot of pride. They say it all starts up front, and I would agree with that. As long as they get a good push, stay in their run fist, linebackers will be scraping over top, trying to fill holes and fill gaps.
Ken, what does Coach Mullen talk to you guys about finishing?
It's finishing strong. For the senior class, going out with a win, wearing maroon. That's going to be special for us, and we want to kind of leave a lasting impression on our younger generations, and hopefully it will carry over into